Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Dr. Prantik Banerjee. I'm an assistant professor of environmental science at the Adamas University.
Can you please tell us about your specialization and which course which you teach?
Yeah. In Adamas University, in environmental science, we have both undergraduate and postgraduate courses. Now, why is studying environmental science important? Even before getting into that, I'd like to ask that what makes a profession lucrative? If I ask you, what makes a profession lucrative? It is nothing but the number of problems related to the profession. Take for an example, if suddenly on the face of the earth, say nobody falls ill, there are no diseases, everybody is hale and hearty, they are in the prime of their health, would there be any requirement for doctors? Would there be any requirement for nurses, for diagnostic centers? Would there be? No, there won't be. So a profession will only survive if there are problems related to that particular profession. Now, as far as environmental science is concerned, on a given day, at a given place, you go out, you look around you, almost all the problems you face will have something to do with the environment. Either we are affecting the environment or we are facing the wrath of the environment. Say for example the heat wave which was affecting us just a few months back, the untimely cyclonic formations, pollution, environmental diseases. So there are plenty of problems to solve. We have to undo a lot that we have been doing for the last say 100 or 150 years, maybe 200 years. So there's plenty of things to undo, there are plenty of problems, and that makes the subject very, 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 very important. According to the US Department of Labor, the US Labor Bureau, environmental science is the fastest growing domain in the world as far as profession is concerned. According to the World Economic Forum, WEF, environmental science is the most important domain to solve the problems of humanity, right? In the Indian context, have you heard of something called SEBI, the Securities Exchange Board of India, which controls the stock exchange, which controls the BSE, the Bombay Stock Exchange, and the NSE, National Stock Exchange. According to SEBI, all the companies listed in the stock exchanges must have their sustainability policies, otherwise they will get delisted. Their companies will not be traded in the stock exchanges anymore. You cannot buy or sell their shares. So all the companies listed in the NSEs and the BSEs, that makes something around maybe 10 to 12,000 companies, they have to have environmental professionals in them. So just imagine, we talk of this sector booming, we talk of that sector booming. Environmental science is required in all the sectors, power sector, automobile sector, name any sector, environmental science will be required. Our students, they are placed in the power sector, the old students, they are placed in a company called S&P Global. I just said the Bombay Stock Exchange. S&P Global is the company which maintains the Bombay Stock Exchange. The Sensex is now called S&P Sensex. So these are the companies where our students have been placed. Our students are doing their internships in companies like Tata Power, Tata Steel, and if they can perform well, maybe they'll get absorbed in such companies. So across the board, across the nation, all companies, they need environmental professionals. Of course, one can go for higher studies, one can do PhD after MSc. But if you are looking for a job, if you are looking for a lucrative, successful career with a high growth rate, what I should say is not all careers have equal growth rate. If you want a career with a very, very high growth rate, environmental science is the subject, because there are n number of problems to be solved to protect humanity from any catastrophe.
So do you think that this awareness is there in most of the students, and what is your advice to the upcoming students who are for this program?
Right, I would actually like to thank you for asking the question. In our state, unfortunately, there is still not much awareness about the subject. There are two reasons for that. One, we often hear these terms, sustainability, climate change, global warming, but we tend to forget that these problems are linked to this subject, one. And secondly, we all have studied a certain subject called environmental studies or environmental education from right from class 1 to class 12, maybe in the graduation, which perhaps is diluting the subject. I mean, it's a very I mean common human psyche that we might think that we are studying this subject for so many years. What's there to learn? What this problem is somehow affecting us, but outside our state, students are actually rushing into studying the subject. Take for example Pune University. The seats were filled way before other seats. Seats for other subjects were filled, but it's still in a very nascent stage in our state. We are not really aware of the prospects of the avenues where one can venture out after studying this subject.
What is your advice for the upcoming students for this program?
If you have a passion for doing anything, if you want your career to be financially benefiting, as well as you want a meaningful career, you want to do something productive for the humanity. All of you have seen the Marvel films, Marvel comics, Iron Man, this and that. Environmental scientists, students in the domain of environment, in the domain of sustainability, in the domain of forestry, in the domain of pollution control, they are the superheroes. They are actually the real life superheroes, much like the Marvel ones in real life or in fiction. So if you want to be a superhero in real life, this is the subject for you.
Thank you so much, sir.